Alright, hi guys. So welcome to my channel. We're gonna dive into our Get Ready With Me. We don't have a lot of new products. So interesting though, like yesterday was the 2nd, and that was the day that Ipsy did their Plus personalization, where you got to pick your 3 products if you're a Plus member, and then if you're a Glam member, you got to see what was in your bag and you got to do add-ons, and Plus and Ultimate got to do add-ons, and Ultimate got to see what was in their bag. Well, as you can see with the bags under my eyes, I haven't had much sleep lately, and we'll get into that because I got some stuff to tell you guys. So I was up at like 3 this morning, and I checked my Ipsy. Actually checked add-ons because there were a few things that I'm trying to decide if I want to add. I would have to add it into Violet's bag because I've already done my part and everything, so I can't go back and add. And it said it, my bag already shipped. This is like, if that's true, which it shows, tracking shows that it's on its way to DHL facility, so it's left the warehouse. I've never had a bag shipped the day after. This is the fastest. And I'm wondering if maybe it's because I didn't do add-ons with my bag. So, yeah, comment down below, and if you have Ipsy and you've had a bag shipped super fast like this, and if you haven't put add-ons in your bag on the days that it's shipped really fast, let me know. All right, so we don't have, my point of that was we don't have a lot of new products. I do have a couple things that I picked up that you guys saw if you watched my mother-daughter Get Ready With Me that we did. I couldn't wait to try this palette out for today. So I went ahead and did one last week, and I needed a video because I don't have any like subscription boxes yet. I will have that Ipsy soon, and then Boxycharm, since it is the 3rd now, they're starting to put boxes together and everything. But I picked up the Urban Decay eye primer. I've used this every day since I picked it up last week, and I actually really like it. I think it works really well. And then the eyeshadow palette we're going to use is, I finally picked this baby up. I couldn't wait any longer. I've used it only a couple times. Me and Violet used it that day, and I think this is my 3rd time counting that day that I've used it. So as you can see, it hasn't been used a lot, but I'm so excited to dive into it and see what looks we create. I've been doing, I don't know if it's a cut crease, because I actually don't know how to do a cut crease, but I've been doing a different look than my normal look, where I put like the transition shade up here, and then on the crease right here, I'll put a color, and then here, I'll kind of like angle it this way and put a color there, and then do like a sparkle on the lid. Well, lately I've been doing transition shade here, a shade here, a shade in the corner here, and then in the middle as like sparkly shimmer shade. I don't know if that's a cut crease. If it is, I don't know if I'm doing it right. Oh well, that's probably the look we're gonna go with today. So I'm gonna start out by adding the Urban Decay primer. I think this primer is absolutely amazing. I just got the little sample size because obviously if it didn't work, I wasn't going to spend the full price. That's just how I am, especially right now. My gosh, like for us, financially, whew, we had Violet's 14th birthday last Friday, and then we had, Thanksgiving, we had Halloween, which I'll leave my Instagram down below. I posted pictures. If you guys want to check that out, go to my Instagram. And we have my birthday coming up in like week and a half about, or next weekend actually. So yeah, about a week and a half. We have my husband and I's anniversary, then we have Christmas, then we have New Year's, then we have Valentine's Day, and we also have my husband's son's birthday this month. So I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on. So I'm trying to be very like conscious on my shopping and spending too, and that's another reason why I didn't do add-ons, even though, you know, a couple of the stuff were just $3 add-ons. And Lillian didn't find anything either. I'm actually going to ask her, because I think I'm going to go ahead and go for the 2 $3 add-ons I want. So I'm going to go ahead and ask her if she wants anything, because she didn't pick anything. So I just had I just went ahead and added Violet's add-on. She chose one add-on, one $3 add-on for her bag, and I just added it to Lillian's bag. So we can still add some add-ons to Violet. So I'm going to go ahead and see if Lily has changed her mind and wants anything. So last chance. Because I'm going to go ahead and add the two $3 add-ons that I'm going to do. Hopefully they're still there. And then if she wants anything. And if she wants something later, well, it's going to be a little too late because I've already added. Once you add, you can't go back and re-add until they do their second chance add-ons. So then maybe she could pick something if there's something there that she wants. All right, so we got that primer on. I've been trying to decide all morning kind of what look to go with. I don't think we have anything going on today. Yesterday was a very emotional, crazy day for a couple of reasons. My husband and I just kind of went out when he got home from work and just kind of went to the mall and looked around. We didn't find anything we wanted, but he was just trying to get my mind off the stuff. And then I found some stuff out about my grandma later on. But today I don't think we have anything. I have a few phone calls to make after this video. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with kind of a lighter look. I mean, not like light, because I mean, a lot of these are kind of bright besides maybe that color and that pink right there. But I think we're going to go ahead and I think I'm going to do Love You a Latte, which has been used. I think either Violet or I used this color in our Get Ready With Me that we did together. If you haven't watched that, go watch that video. That was a lot of fun. A little hard, I will say, to film and make, so like in order for you guys to see everything, because we were in our bathroom and our bathroom's pretty darn tiny. So for two people to be in here, it was a little hard, but it was fun. I think she had fun, I had fun. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just do a very subtle light shade of that up here. As you can see, we're just gonna put that on, and then I'm just gonna try to blend it out the best I can to kind of just give it a blended, diffused, kind of light wash of color, not very deep. I'm only gonna go into the color once. So how's everybody's week been? How was your weekend and how was your Halloween? So for us, we did, Halloween was good. It was a little different than we expected, and I'll get into that here in a bit. But we took Lily out to trick-or-treat. Violet was invited to a friend's house for a Halloween party. She stayed the night. So, she trick-or-treated a little bit with us on the way there because her friend doesn't live very far from us. And so we just walked. We didn't take our car. Yay for exercise. Because honestly, I'm not going to lie, since Friday, I have not. Today's Tuesday. You'll see this video tomorrow on Wednesday. I do the Get Ready With Me Tuesday and then upload it on Wednesday. But I'm not going to lie, I haven't done the best with my weight loss and my healthy eating. So there's that. So it was good that we did the walk, but we went ahead and walked her to her friends for the party, and then she stayed the night, which was definitely something she needed. That's for sure. And then we took Lillian out. We were out for like, man, 2 hours. We were out for a long time, but it was a lot of fun. We had fun with her. Violet dressed up as a cheetah. Lillian was a very gory zombie. I mean, she's my tomboy, so I wouldn't expect anything less. She always goes for that type of stuff. I mean, when she was younger and I picked out her stuff, I picked out the girly, cute little stuff. But obviously, as she got older and developed her own personality and became her own person, she chose to be the tomboy that she is and chose to do gory stuff. And then my husband was a big, giant T-Rex and then I was a giraffe. So, like I said, I will have my Instagram link down below, and then you guys can go ahead and check out the pictures. I got them up the other day. And then we just took Miss Lillian out. We came home, had dinner, watched a movie, and then went to bed. And then Violet came home the next day, and then I had to work the next day. I had to work that day too, but I got off pretty early. I think I got off at 3. I want to say 3 or 4. I honestly don't remember. It was about 3 or 4, one of the two. But the change of plans was, this was their dad's weekend, and they were supposed to go to him, and I had talked to him about us taking them out first, and then we would just drop them off a little bit later, you know, 6, 7 o'clock type of thing. Probably close to like 7, 8 to be honest, was more like it. And that's even when we got home. We got home after, let's see here, we got home about 8, so it was about 2.5 hours actually, because we started trick-or-treating at 7 or 5:30, little after 5:30, but anyways. And then he could take him out if he wanted to, but you know, Lillian was just kind of concerned that they weren't going to go out, or he was going to take him to the mall, because that's, I guess, what he does every year. And the few, like, there was one time I remember he did take him to houses for about 30 minutes, and then he got a hold of us and asked us to come pick them up, so we did. And when we found out that they hadn't really gone anywhere, we went ahead and took them to houses and stuff that year. So, you know, she was afraid that was going to happen again. Don't blame her. Oh, and the brush that I used for that was my Morphe M505. So I know that it took me a little bit longer than I normally do, but I wanted to give it just a light wash of color up there. And the next one I think we're going to dive on into from that color is, I think we're going to go to You Spicy, and that is this purple shade right there. And we're going to put that on the outer corner. And I think I might bring it up into my crease just a little, but not too much. And I'm using the Morphe M507. So I'm just going to place this here on the corner like that. And then I'm going to bring it just slightly up here into the crease. Oh, we got a little bit right there. There we go. Yeah. So I think I've mentioned before here on my channel, but not a whole lot. I haven't talked too much about it. The girls' dad has had some struggles with addiction. He spent some time in prison. First, he was given the opportunity of drug court, and he took it, but he decided to, well, he had a couple of violations, a couple dirty UAs for weed, alcohol, meth, and then his drug of choice is heroin. It's not meth, but obviously he'll use it if it's there. You know, that's, hold on, I need to grab makeup remover wipes and just have them close by. That's obviously been established that he will use it if it's there. But what he prefers is heroin. Anyways, he decided that he was going to go out of state and see a friend who was having a hard time, a girl. It seems to always be over a girl. And they consider that absconding. And so he was kicked out of drug court last year and was sentenced to what you call a rider. And that was about almost a year. He didn't spend quite a year, but almost a year in prison. He got out last year in September, We gave him a few months of showing that, you know, he was trying. And then we went to mediation, and I gave him every other weekend, Saturday 4 p.m., Sunday to 4 p.m. with the kids. And for quite some time, he was doing really well. He was sober. I felt like he was starting to get that relationship with his kids. He was starting to build it. I could tell a big change in him, and I was really, really happy for the kids. Then he met a girl. Like I said, it's always over a girl. And he met her, and I'm not exactly sure when or how, but their relationship started to go bad. There was a lot of fighting and a lot of on and off again. He didn't lose his job, but his job was shut down when all this COVID stuff happened. And so then he lost a place to live. So he moved in with her. And I feel like that, honestly, for me, I feel like, my opinion, that's when things really started with them. And I had asked him to set up a time for me to meet with her, get to know her, ask her questions, because if she was going to be around my kids and be a part of their life, obviously I want to know who she is. And I had questions, obviously. You know, how did you meet her? Is she on probation? I mean, things like that. Like, does she have a history of drug abuse? I wasn't in any form, shape, or form of wanting to judge or going to judge or anything. But I feel like as their mother, I had every right to know that stuff. And it never happened. He never, I think, gave me enough respect to meet the chick. Anyways, he eventually, I mean, they've been on and off, and I don't even know if right now if they're dating or not. But he eventually moved out of there and moved in with someone else, another girl. And I expressed my concerns with him about that only because, for one, he's 45. He's about 6.5 years older than me, and I'm almost 35. So he's up there in age. And, you know, I'm sorry, but he shouldn't have roommates. You know, he should be on his own. He should be being self-sufficient. I mean, that's obviously what he needs to do, especially because he's never been that way. Like, even when I was with him, he always relies on whatever woman he's with to take care of him and take care of our kids. Well, the roommate, I just told him my concern with that, and my biggest concern with it was the confusion that the kids would have. I mean, how confusing do you think that's going to be, you know, that daddy's with another girl? Or, I mean, how are they going to look at that? Are they going to think that? Are they going to think that their dad's dating this chick? Are they going to understand that that's not what's going on? That's just, I mean, I just didn't think it was a good idea. And I know how he is, okay? I mean, I've known the guy since I was 19. I'm going on 35. I've known him a very long time. He kept telling me they were just friends, but it's not just friends with him. It never is with a girl, ever. And then the last time he had them, I went up to the door. This was the first time I actually saw where he lived, because my husband's normally the one that drops the kids off, because I'm usually at work, so I don't actually have gotten to see it until recently. So the last time I walked up to the door with him, and when he answered the door, I wanted to see who this person was, because he wasn't even allowing me to really get to know her, meet her, get to find out who she is. And to me, that was very concerning. And so, sorry guys, I'm trying to find here. Nope, that's not it. trying to, there it is. All right, so now I'm gonna use my Morphe Y22 and I'm gonna put a color in my inner corner. And I think for the inner corner, we're going to go with, I think I want to go light, like a light color. So I think we're going to do La Mode. La Mode, I think is how you say it. We're going to go in with a light color in the inner corner, I believe. I think that's the plan. Anyways, and so when I walked up there, when he entered the door, I could tell he didn't want me to see inside his home, like the way that he opened in. He was standing at the door, making it pretty difficult for me to look in. But I was able to catch a glimpse of his roommate, and she is someone he used to use with. So obviously that was a concern. And my husband and I, we started to see a difference in their dad. Like old using behaviors were coming back. Like there's certain mannerisms and stuff. There's certain ways that he acts when he's using. And a part of the custody agreement, you know, when we went to mediation, he agreed to everything. And obviously he agreed to it because at that time, you know, he was doing good, he was sober. I was allowed to have him drug tested. Anytime I felt like that needed to happen, that I felt like he was having a slip up or that he had relapsed, he was using, you know, however you want to say it, I had that right. And then obviously if the drug test came out negative, I just bought the bullet. But if it came out positive, he would have to pay me back. He would have to reimburse it, and it's court ordered, so he would have to do it, and probation would make him, since it's a court order obligation. So I was actually just about, I just gone off the phone. Sorry, I just gone off the phone with my attorney, because my attorney called and wanted to know if we wanted to, because my husband and I had met with my attorney about a week prior to this, so about a couple weeks ago now, just to touch base on, you know, how things were going. And we expressed our concerns of, you know, him slipping back into drug use, the fact that, you know, we take the kids to him, we pick him up, like he needs to do more, you know, that we're doing everything. So he wanted to know, when my attorney called on Friday, this was all on Friday, if we wanted to do mediation, or if maybe we wanted to try to just have my attorney negotiate, just him and my attorney negotiate back and forth, or my attorney bring up our concerns and just try to work it out that way. And I told my attorney, or go to court, and I said, no, I don't think it needs court. I think if, you know, he won't, if you can't get a hold of him, because that's one of the signs that he's using, is you just, communication just falls off the face of the planet. Even Violet, we tried to get a hold of him these last like month and a half, 2 months, and it was hard for her to get a hold of him too. And when she did, or I did, or my husband could, it was always some excuse that we could tell was bogus. I don't know if she could, but we could. And so I told him, obviously, if you can get a hold of him, try that. If you can't, then we'll try mediation. But I don't think it warrants a going back to court and taking up all that time. So now for the shimmer shade, I'm going to go in with Oh My Gourd. It's just this really pretty, light, sparkly pink. And I'm going to use my Morphe. It's like this. It doesn't have a number on it. I'm going to go ahead and use the brush and see. I know that a lot of times if you use your finger, you can normally get better pigment. This looks pretty light. But like I said, I'm not trying to go for an outrageous look today. So we'll see how this turns out. So far, I don't have any fallout too, and that's great. That's one thing I do like about this palette. And I'm just going to put that sparkle in the middle. Now, it's usually, when I do have fallout, it's normally the shimmer and the sparkles shades that give me the fallout. Anyways, I had just gotten off the phone when my husband, he always checks out the gel roster, and that's why, you know, because obviously their dad's not going to call me and tell me he's been arrested. So that's really the only way for us to find out if it's happened. So he checked the jail roster, and there he was. I was actually getting ready after I got off the phone with my attorney to message him and let him know, because I have to give him 24-hour notice that I'm having him drug tested, that this is where he needs to go, and at this time. And so I literally got off the phone. I was writing the message when my husband came over to me and showed me that he had gotten arrested. Now, it wasn't just a probation violation. Obviously, that was one of his charges, is probation violation, but he picked up 2 new felony drug charges. So he, God, I don't want to cry, I'm doing my makeup. Okay, so he has 2 new felony possession drug charges, and then a drug paraphernalia charge, which is a misdemeanor. I got a hold of the courts to see if they could give me any information, like if they had the paperwork yet, like exactly what happened, if they could tell me what the drugs were, that type of stuff. It obviously wasn't just weed, because you don't get a felony charge for having, you know, an amount of weed that you're going to use. Obviously, you can get a felony charge if you're selling a bunch of that, but I knew, and the fact that there was no bail amount tells me that it was a felony, and it wasn't weed. I knew it. And he came over for Violet's birthday on October 23rd, and I could tell he was high. There was, without a doubt, that guy would barely look at me, as one of the signs I could tell. Both my husband and I both could tell that he was not sober that day, which really upset both of us and really pissed us off that, you know, we let him into our home, you know, and then he comes in high, knowing that we don't do that stuff. We don't allow drugs in our house. We don't do drugs. We, you know, steer the kids, obviously, away from that. You know, we've got to teach them, because of them having a dad that's an addict. They have that deposition to possibly go down the same path, and we obviously don't want that for him. So, okay, so I got the sparkle on. That's what the finished look looks like. What do you guys think? I think it looks good. I've been having a lot of fun just playing around with my makeup. It's kind of a little hard for me because I got the older eyes and the I can't even think right now what it's called. I've had, like, since Friday, I've now had 12 hours of sleep since Friday. 12 hours, that's it, in all those days. It's ridiculous. I barely slept last night, too, because something else happened last night, and I'll get to that. Like I said, I got lots to talk about. Anyways, and don't mind these. I need to definitely get them cleaned up, but if you notice, I've definitely let these eyebrows grow out, because I'm going to start working on learning how to do my eyebrows as well. Anyway, so... yeah, he was high on her birthday, which really pissed me off, because I mean, seriously, you can't come to your daughter's birthday that you haven't been a part of in a long time. And I'm just going to take that same color, the La Mode, I put it in the inner corner, and put that on my lash line. You know, he spent almost a year in prison, and before that, he was not really around. He just... You know, when his using got really bad, he just dipped out. Like, he stopped coming and picking them up for visit for his time. Before I've, you know, finally said enough was enough, and after he got caught and got drug charges, I had the proof. I was trying. I'd gone before all this to... Sorry, my husband messaged me. Trying to... get a judge to listen to me, but the fact that I had no proof, it was my word against his, there was nothing that anyone would do. And it was so worrisome to know I had to take my kids to his house, knowing that he was using. At that point, he was even living in an RV that didn't have any running water, because he was in the middle of a divorce from his wife. I mean, no running water, you know what that means? No working toilet. And I'm not even go into the condition of the RV and how my kids had to use the bathroom, like, it just still really makes me upset. That we're not gonna get into that, because I'm still pissed about that situation, that he even put them in that situation. Anyways, so obviously once he finally got busted, which, you know, people think they're invisible and they'll never get caught, but eventually it catches up to you, and eventually you do, and it caught up to him. Anyways, so I called the courthouse to figure out what was going on, and they didn't have any of the paperwork yet. Okay, and then I got that on my under eye lash line right there, just a little bit of color down there. All right, so we're done with the eyes. I'm going to go ahead now and start on my 2 primers I'm going to use for my face. And the first one we're going to use is the Too Faced Hanover RX to kind of hydrate the face. And then we're going to use another one to conceal, or try to conceal up pores and things like that. So I called them to see if they can give me information. They hadn't gotten the paperwork yet. And the lady told me that, let's see, he was arrested at 10:50, and I think it was close to 3 when we found out. So it was, I think, like 2:30 or so. And the lady said that he obviously was probably not going to be seeing the judge that day because of the time, and he still, you know, when I called, he still hadn't seen the judge. So more than likely it would be on Monday, yesterday, the 2nd, and it would be through Zoom, because of COVID and everything. So she told me if I wanted to be a part of that, I definitely needed to call them and let them know so they can get me the information. And so yesterday, I went ahead and called the courthouse, and I first asked them if they had any new information. And now I'm using the Professional Pore Primer. I used to use this almost all the time. Only reason why I'm using this now is because I'm out of my Milk Makeup Blur Stick. Such a sad day, because I love that stuff. That works amazing. But this stopped working. It actually was working really well for me for a while, and then it stopped working, and now it works again. So I think sometimes you just gotta kind of, you know, give your skin a break from some things, and they'll start working again, because this has started working again. So until I can pick up some more of that Milk Blur Stick, I'm using this. And it's working. Anyways, so I called, got the Zoom meeting information. He was seen yesterday. It was supposed to be at 9, but you know, especially when it comes to court, they're never on time, which is understandable. I mean, things, you know, we had some issues when they first let me into the Zoom call, the Zoom hearing, technical difficulties. So, and when I first got in, the judge said that they were waiting for a prosecutor. So I think that was part of the reason why it was late. And they, you know, probably just had a lot of hearings that morning. I think he was the only one over the weekend that got arrested, but you have people that are still, you know, people who've been in there that have hearings and stuff. So it's not just, you know, people who got arrested over the weekend. So he eventually started, and he looks awful. Like when I saw him on Violet's birthday just a week ago, I could tell just by how much weight he lost that he was using. But oh my gosh, it looked like yesterday he lost another 20 pounds. It was bad. I didn't expect it to be that bad. And he knew, at some point he knew I was there. I don't know if he could see the screen. Like, I was muted, and I couldn't see a picture of me, so I don't know if they could actually see me, but I could see them. But the judge, you know, since I was there, had to make it known that there was someone from the public there, and she said my name. So he knows now. If he didn't know before she mentioned I was there, he knew after that. And he knows that I'm going to find out. I mean, especially because they were supposed to go to him on Saturday until Sunday, and we had arranged, you know, for me to, you know, take him out trick-or-treating and then drop them off a little bit later. We arranged all that. So, okay, 1 second. I got to grab my sponge and my foundation. All right, so now we're going to use the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I'm going to move my brushes for now until we get ready to do bronzer and highlighter. Anyway, so we eventually started the meeting. His next hearing, which is a preliminary hearing, which is just where the state will produce any evidence they have against him about the charges. He was at first trying to ask to be let out, OR'd, which means let out on his own recognizance, meaning they let him out without bail. Of the promise that he won't run, promise that he will obey every law, blah, 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 that type of stuff. But the judge didn't grant it. They still, at this time, didn't have the paperwork either. I don't know if they have the paperwork yet still from his probation officer or not, but they didn't have that paperwork, and so they don't know exactly as far as like what happened. They don't know if maybe a house check was done and they found the stuff and then gave him a UA. I mean, I don't know. One of the phone calls I'm gonna be making is to his probation officer and see if maybe she'll give me information. Some probation officers are really nice like that and they'll do that, especially if there's children involved. Others will not. So it's just gonna be luck of the draw to see if she's one of those that will. She is one, I know, that has a reputation of being very lenient and very nice. So he got lucky, honestly, to get her. And I was even thinking that through, you know, allowing him to move in with this chick that he was living with when he got arrested, that I know was someone he used to use with. I'm not sure if his probation officer knew that, but she also allowed him to move in with his girlfriend, who was also on probation for DUIs, which I did not know that when I asked to meet with this girl. You know, that was something I was going to be asking. And the fact that their dad never set the meeting up, no matter how many times I had messaged him and asked, you know, when's a good time for said person to meet with me. I would like to meet with her. I would like to get to know her. She's going to be around the girls, blah, blah, blah. He never did it. So I think that's why. I think because he knows that she wasn't good for him or good for the kids. He knew. So we'll see. We'll see what the probation officer says, because like I said, there wasn't anything as far as paperwork from the probation officer during this meeting. I'm going to go ahead and now put this eyeliner on. It is the Tarte Double Duty, and I'm going to use the pencil side. This is where you guys might lose me for a minute because I have to kind of bend down here to look. Anyway, so during the Zoom hearing, they did obviously have the police report, and it stated what he was being charged with and what he was in possession of. And he's getting charged with 1 felony count possession of methamphetamine and 1 count of a felony charge possession of heroin, which honestly, that one wasn't a surprise for me. I know that in the past he's dabbled into the meth here and there, but it wasn't something that he was, at least back then, doing on a regular basis. I don't know now, which also leads to tell me that he more than likely was using when he had the girls. And this is why, why I have full custody and he has these visits every other weekend. All right, now we're going to dive on into my concealer, which is the Benefit one that I always use. That has been my saving grace. I went through so many concealers before I found one that would work. I went through the Tape Shape. I've gone through even Too Faces, Born This Way. I've gone through drugstore ones. I never found one that would work. As long as you let this one warm up and you use your fingers, I feel like it works extremely well. It just melts into the skin. And I use it for under my eyes. I don't use it to cover anything else on my face. And then I'm going to use the Tarte Watermelon Burst setting powder to set under my eyes. Haven't used this one in a while. Anyways, and so those are the 2 felony counts he's looking at. And then he's looking at a misdemeanor charge. That's the drug paraphernalia. And they said that the 2 felony charges, if he pleads guilty or is found to be guilty, he's looking at up to 7 years for each charge in prison. They're not, obviously, they're not going to make him spend the full 7 years. My guess, if anything, the total amount between all 3 charges, because it's up to 7 years for the one controlled substance and then another 7 years, God dang it, for the other controlled substance, and then up to a year for the drug paraphernalia, it would probably come out to 3 to 5 years with the time served that he'll be doing in jail. And then the year that he's been out on probation this past year, completely down the drain. They don't give you credit for that, so he'll be starting all over with probation. So say he gets out and they say he has 2 years of probation. Well, he doesn't just pick back up to where he left off and just have 1 year left of probation. He has to serve the full 2 years again. And then obviously if he messes up again, it's the same thing. If he gets messes up, goes back, they let him out, they say 2 years, it's another 2 years. Like that year that he has been out, he gets no credit for. The time that he was sober and he was doing good, he wasted it away completely down the drain. And I feel like it has to do with that chick he was dating. He was doing completely fine till he started dating her. And then once things started going sour for them, things started to go sour for him. When he was in prison before, he learned coping mechanisms. He's just choosing not to use them. But when life hits, instead of using those, he runs to drugs. And obviously, him and her was off again, from things the girls have told me, things that other people that know her that have told me. It wasn't a good relationship. She's kind of crazy. So, it just was a toxic relationship. But the drug paraphernalia that he was found with was tinfoil with obviously intent to use, and then needles, which injecting has always been the way he did his drugs, always. All right, so now we've got all that done. I'm going to do bronzer, I'm going to do highlighter. I didn't bring any lip stuff. Oh wait, mascara. You gotta do mascara. And I'm gonna put a little bit, I'll grab that in a minute. And then setting spray. So we're almost done. Almost. All right, really quick though, I'm going to put this Thrive Cosmetics Brilliant Eye Brightener in the inner corner of my eyes. I've been doing that lately too, and it definitely really does brighten up your eyes. I got this in my Ipsy last month. So I'm just putting it just a little bit right here on that corner right there. You see that? It definitely brightens it up. Anyways, so his bail amount that was given is $10,000 total, which means that to find someone to bail him out would be, he'd have to find the person would have to find a bail's bond, and then they would have to pay $1,000. And I'm sorry, but $1,000 is a lot, especially for someone who last time when all of this started, the very first time he got arrested about a year and a half, 2 years, about 2 years ago now, they OR'd him. They let him out. He didn't have to bail out. He whined and cried that it was his daughter's birthday. It was Lillian's birthday that week, which he did not get to see her. So honestly, I think he used that as an excuse to try to get out, because he knew damn well I wasn't gonna let him see him. All right, so I just put on my mascara. I like to do that after doing my eye stuff, just so I don't smear anything. And it was the Tarte C Curl. It's been a while since I've used this, so I've been using this like the last 3-4 days. I actually really do like it. I like the wand and everything. I got it in like an Ipsy months ago. All right, and then the next item you're gonna use, I'm gonna throw that stuff there, is my Marc Jacobs bronzer and Tantric. It's been a while since I've used this, but I used it yesterday as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my Morphe Y something. The number's rubbed off, so I don't know what it is, to apply it. I really do like this bronzer. I feel like it's a very nice light wash of color, which is great for the look we're going for today. Anyways, so it would be about $1,000 to be bonded out. They were still waiting on that paperwork from the probation officer. However, if he ended up finding someone that would be able to bond him out or bail him out, the jail would have to get a hold of his probation officer and let her know that he's, you know, getting bailed out. And at that point, she would rush that paperwork. The jail, this is how they work. This is how the criminal system works. Unfortunately, because of their dad, I know a lot about this stuff now. I've been dealing with this for years. This is one main reason why I left the guy when Lillian was a baby. He started dabbling into like pills and stuff, but it wasn't anything too serious at that point. It's just gotten really worse over the last like 5-6 years. All right, so now we got our bronzer on our cheeks. I'm going to put some on my chin here, and I think I'll do my nose today too. I don't normally, it's been a long time since I've done my nose, and yesterday I did my chin down here and my forehead too. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today as well. Anyways, they would just slow down the process at the jail to give the probation officer time to get the paperwork in, and then he would be held on that. So he's not getting it because he still has to go to court for the probation violation and get a bail amount for that as well. So that's what's going on with him. He's stuck there, and I don't know what to do. Like, I mean, I can't do it anymore. I can't keep hurting the girls over and over. Lillian told us that she did not allow herself to get reattached to him after he got out, and they started having a relationship again because she knew this was going to happen. I mean, it's not healthy. It's definitely not, you know, a healthy way to deal with it. I was using my Morphe M32, but that didn't work very well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Morphe M330 and just kind of blend it out now. It works pretty well to put it on my nose, but not to blend it. And Violet's just really attached to her dad, and she's taking it pretty hard, but I just can't do it anymore. I'm so exhausted from dealing with all of it. I'm done. I'm just done. Like, my husband and I have been so supportive of him having a relationship with the kids. We have helped in so many ways to get the kids to him and pick them up. We've invited him for holidays here. We've invited him for birthdays. We've been extremely supportive of a relationship with the girls as long as he was sober. And we've been supportive of him on getting sober and getting his life together. And I just can't do it anymore. I mean, I was a wreck yesterday during that meeting once they read off what he was found with and then the needles and everything. Like, I started bawling. Thank God I was muted. But when it was over, I called my husband just in tears, and the girls and I are extremely lucky to have him. Like they, honestly, I don't know where they would be if he didn't have them. Like, he shows them what a dad is. He shows them how a man is supposed to treat a woman. Like, he comes home early from work for me because I'm just a wreck. Sorry guys. I just did my eye makeup. He brings me flowers and just spent the day with me to try to make me feel better. And, you know, he's been doing special stuff with the girls since we told him, and they're lucky. And that's one thing that through all of this, even though obviously it's their dad. Oh, and I'm using the Ofra highlighter in Soho. It's such a gorgeous blinding color. Even though obviously it's their biological dad and it's something that's painful for them to go through, like, I'm just so glad that they have my husband and they have that amazing example and they have him. Thank you. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the one thing that isn't going to be subtle today, is the blinding highlighter. They have someone that's a real man, someone that they can look up to, someone that they know that they can count on every day, someone that is a father to him. So even though right now they don't have their dad, you know, just because he's alive for now, I mean, that's one of my biggest fears, is his life is gonna end up being spending it in jail, in and out of jail, or he ends up overdosing. That's the reality of our life right now, of my family's life right now, is that's my biggest fear. And I don't know how I could tell my kids that. I was hard enough to tell them that he relapsed and he's back in jail and he's not going anywhere. He can't get out. He can't find anyone that's gonna be able to bail him out. And even if he did, he's not going anywhere. You know, he's going away to prison, 100%. Like, that's, or I'd say like 95% he's going. I'd be very shocked if they didn't sentence him to any time in prison, especially because he picked up 2 new felony charges while on probation. And yesterday the judge had already said that if found guilty or he pleads guilty for those charges, he was looking at up to 7 years. All right, so we got that highlighter on. So we're pretty much done. I just got to do my setting spray and pick this brush up. Okay. So yeah, that's what's going on there. I'm going to call and see if I can, just to give my attorney a little bit of information today that I got yesterday. I know that it's not really a lot as far as our custody goes. I'm going to tell him that obviously I'm not going to revoke his rights, but I want 100% full and legal custody right now. And when he gets out, however many years that's going to be from now, however long I feel like he needs to focus on himself, not even a relationship with his kids, definitely not a relationship with a woman, but even not even focusing on a relationship with his kids, but just get out. Oh, and I'm using the Tarte London Vacay Coconut Setting Spray on himself and his life, getting things in order for him in his life. And then we'll just go from there as far as, oh, I sprayed that the wrong way. It's okay, my mirror needs clean anyways. And just focus on him. And then we just go from there on when I feel like we, you know, go back to court and we'll see about letting him see them again. But I'm definitely not doing what I did this last time and only wait like 2 months. It's longer than that this time. I'm not, I mean, and if he goes 3 to 5 years, that's all of Violet's teen years, you know, that's it. And Lillian will be a teenager when he gets out too. So unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot right now, and I just haven't been able to sleep. I'm just so stressed on what's going to happen with him, what's going to happen to my kids. Like, it's a lot. My husband thinks I actually need to call the jail to And then his PO is the other person I'm going to call. But my husband thinks I need to call the gel and see if they're doing visiting and go talk to him and get all this out to him, because I have been so supportive. I haven't ever expressed to him how I felt myself during all of this, and what his decisions that he has made has caused me, like the emotional strain has caused me, and the pain that has caused me to have to tell my kids every time. I mean, me having to break their heart every time. Like, so I don't know. My husband did write him a letter and got it all out and expressed himself to him. And I'm going to sign it. He's going to sign it. We're going to send that to him. And then give a copy to my attorney as well. And then the other thing, it's a little bit shorter of a little bit of a story. So last night, my aunt, or my cousin, messages me and told me that my aunt had a bad feeling about my grandparents. They live in a small town from my aunt and cousin, about 4 hours. For me, hour and a half, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours probably. And my aunt had a bad feeling, so she called, and apparently my grandma had fallen since on Friday. She fell on Friday, and my grandpa can't pick her up, so he left her there on the floor. Eventually dragged her in the bedroom because he couldn't pick her up. So she's been laying there since Friday on the ground, and it was a mess. So my aunt and my cousin went and grabbed her because my grandpa said, I can't take care of her anymore. Like, both of them are old. They're in their 70s and 80s. My grandpa is very unhealthy. He has dementia. My grandma has it. My grandma's hyperglycemic. She's had lung cancer twice, like, bad health. So they went and picked her up, and my cousin said it was really bad. Like, there was no broken bones, thankfully. Not obviously, thankfully. But she had peed all over herself. I mean, she'd been laying there since Friday. She hasn't been eating, and being hyperglycemic, that's bad. She was really weak. She had bruises all over. So when they got back home, they took her to the hospital, and she got admitted last night because she also has a bladder infection, and because of the bladder infection, she's septic. It's in her blood, and for some reason, her heart rate is extremely low. So they're keeping her till we don't know when, till however long she needs to be kept. So I'm also dealing with that. I'm dealing with the fact that my grandma is pretty old, like old. It's not doing so well either, and she's 4 hours from me, so it's not like I could jump in the car and go see her every day like I would love to do. So yeah, so that's it. So here's the finished look. What do you guys think? And I'm so sorry I rambled on about their dad and then a little bit about my grandma. I just really needed to talk to you guys and just get that out. That's how my week's been, you know. I sit here and tell you guys what we did over the week and how my week's been while I'm doing my makeup, and that was my week. And that's, as far as their dad goes, court hearings and all that, that's going to be my life for a while. He has his preliminary hearing next Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and call on either Thursday morning, or I'm going to actually probably call Wednesday afternoon and see if they have the information yet. If they do, get it from them then. If not, I'm going to call Thursday morning because I already have the date and the time put in the system. And then my husband and I are going to be a part of that. And then it's, when all is said and done, right now it's looking like when someone gets sentenced to prison, they sit in the county jail here for at least 6 months before they go. So he's going to be in jail for a while. And then, like I said, it's probably going to be, it's not going to be the 7 years for sure, but it's probably going to be between 3 to 5 years is going to be my guess. So that's what's going on with me. And I didn't have any questions in my last week's video, so I didn't have any to answer this week. So leave any comments down below, any questions you want to ask, and I will answer those next week. Get ready with me. Be on the lookout. I have my weight loss video tomorrow. Like I said, I haven't done so well since Friday, so I don't feel like I've lost. I may have actually gained a couple pounds back. I'll have my IPSY probably in about 2 weeks. So Friday I do have a video for you guys. Huh? Okay, have a good day at school. I love you. I'll see you after school.
Okay, can we at the bus stop?
Huh?
If you're here,
Yeah, message me when you're almost to the bus stop and I'll go down.
Okay,
bye. Love you too. Sorry guys, I'm silent going to school. Anyway, so yeah. So I will have some videos I might have to do some more like shop my stash to give you guys some content while I'm waiting for my Boxycharm and all that. And they do have their pop-up store opening next week, so I will definitely be shopping that next week. And my husband and I are going to be going away for our anniversary, which is the 16th, 18th. I think it's the 16th. I don't remember right now. I'm so tired. Anyways, so I will be gone for that for a couple days on the 14th and 15th. It's not the 14th and 15th, but that's the weekend we're leaving to go celebrate it. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe and go tell all your friends. I have some amazing stuff stashed away for my giveaway, but I have to hit that 200 subscribers first. We just hit an hour, so I want to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting me vent and listening to me. If you literally have watched this video all the way through, you're absolutely amazing, and I love you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.